Hello, this is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. Even if you're listening on Spreaker, hello to you. And today I will be covering, obviously the Carson Wentz trade just went down. Steelers GM is not still on Ben. There's JJ Watt stuff going around. And I have some baseball stuff for you too, obviously, because there was big news broke. Fernando Tatis is going to be with the Padres for 14 more years. And, but we're going to start off with Carson Wentz to the Colts. Alright, so, Carson Wentz to the Colts. The Eagles, I think, did a pretty good job on this trade here. The Colts won. The Colts won this. Definitely won this. But the Eagles didn't get a bad deal either. A second and a third for Carson Wentz is pretty good. I'd say that's about his value. I figured that would be. I think 2 seconds would have been more fitting, but this is a pretty good deal. If they didn't have Jalen Hurts, this would be a complete L, obviously, but I don't think if they had Jalen Hurts, if they didn't have Jalen Hurts, they wouldn't be considering this. So, the Eagle, the problem is, the Eagles didn't do well with this relationship with Carson Wentz. I've said this about the Eagles. There's a lot of ego there in the front office. And, you don't have to coddle him, but work well with the relationship. They didn't handle him with care. He was sacked 50 times last year, which is the most. It's not all that easy to take care of any athlete. Even LeBron, Brady, Rodgers, they get defensive. But you gotta take care of your quarterback. Because, alright, so here's a stat that I found. No first-round quarterback from 2009 to 2016, so that's 22 quarterbacks. None of them are with the team that drafted them. So it's becoming a transactional league, and you got to take care of your players during that time. So that's the Eagles side of it. They didn't lose this trade. It's not like a big L for them. It's a huge one for the Colts, though. So, some of what I said about the Eagles, not a bad deal, but they really didn't work well with that relationship, and they got to do better with Jalen Hurts. Hopefully. So, on the Colts side of things, I think this is an improvement from Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers, he had a rough year last year, and he's like, this is, okay, so, there's 2 teams that have improved since the Super Bowl. The Rams with Matt Stafford, and the Colts with Carson Wentz. No other team has really improved. And Stafford is a great quarterback. I really think highly of him, but, I think I don't think this makes the Rams a lot better, like a 14-2 team. They were 10-6 last year. I think this year they go 11-5, 12-4. What did I write them down as yesterday? Oh, I said 10-6. All right, I think they go 11-5, 12-4. That was a mistake, but they go 11-5 with a chance to win multiple playoff games. I think the same thing happens for the Colts here. They go 12-4 with a chance to win multiple playoff games. Stafford's better than Goff. He's better in the pocket. He has a better arm. The athleticism is kind of a tie there. They have kind of the same athleticism. But Stafford's better than Goff. He's better statistically. He's just a better player. He has more confidence as well, which is a big thing. So, with Wentz and Rivers, Wentz is a lot more athletic than Rivers. maybe not as good at the line of scrimmage, but both Rams and Colts got better at quarterback. They got a significant athleticism upgrade here with Wentz. So there are 5 teams that I think can easily win the Super Bowl this year. Bills, Chiefs, Bucks, Packers, Rams. I think they're easily in it. And it's not just because of Stafford. I mean, I thought the Rams were pretty close last year. Best defense in the league. Cam Akers is emerging. They got Robert Woods. He's a pretty good receiver. And Sean McVay's obviously an amazing coach. So, the Rams, they're pretty close. And I think the problem was Goff. They got a pretty good offensive line. I think Stafford can make them Super Bowl contenders. I'd say right on the outside are the Seahawks. They need to reshuffle the O-line. And Lamar and the Ravens. I think Lamar needs to show me that he can win more than one playoff game before I'm fully sold on the Ravens. So, all right. And the Colts are close. I wouldn't say they're better than the Bills or Chiefs. I don't know if they're really easily in the Super Bowl, but I think you can definitely make a very compelling argument for this. But they lost in the wild card last year. Wentz is an upgrade, but not a huge upgrade from Phillip Rivers. But Michael Pittman is emerging. Their offensive line is top 3, top 5. They have Jonathan Taylor, one of the best running backs in the league. I think he's going to do amazing next year. I said Michael Pittman. Yeah, they got a great defense, and Frank Reich is the only guy who succeeded with Carson Wentz so far. So I think there are definitely cases for a Super Bowl team, but I think they're just right on the outside. I'll see what happens though. And the reason, there are 5 signs that you're a contender, 5 signs. So So here are the 5 signs to me. You got a strong head coach and quarterback relationship. You got a great O-line. You have talented weapons. You have a top 10 defense. Your front office is strong. So let's take one contender, the Chiefs. Mahomes, Reed, great quarterback relationship.
Okay, we all need the oven tonight.
They have Watkins shows up when he wants to. Kelsey, Hill, talented weapons. Their defense is pretty good. I'd say top 10, top 15. And the Chiefs keep their players around. So their front office is strong. So, they don't need this amazing O-line. Let's take another contender, the Bills. Great head coach quarterback relationship, McDermott, Allen. They got a pretty good O-line. Diggs, Cole Beasley, talented weapons. Their defense is situationally top 10, but they're not top 10 overall. So we'll see. But the Bills don't need a top 10 defense because their front office is strong. They keep people around. Great head coach quarterback relationship. Pretty good offensive line. Talented weapons. As long as you check off 4 of those 5 boxes, you're a contender. Like the Packers, strong head coach quarterback relationship. Great O-line. Devontae Adams. Really, they have a very talented defense, and they have a strong front office. So let's look at the Colts here. They do have a strong head coach quarterback relationship with Reich and Wentz. They have a great O-line. Michael Pittman is emerging. Paris Campbell is pretty good. They do have a great defense, and their front office is pretty good too. I like their GM. So the Colts could really be in the Super Bowl running here, when you really think about it, because they check off almost all those boxes. So, all right. Now, sometimes I nail some of my this is more of an opinion of mine there. This was more of an opinion. Sometimes my opinions, sometimes teams go along with the opinion I gave out, or sometimes they're just like, no, I'm good. I'm not saying they listen to this, but sometimes I always say sometimes my predictions are right, sometimes they're wrong. But when I said Ben should retire, that was more of an opinion. And I said if he doesn't want to retire, then the Steelers should move off of him. They're going to move off of him, it turns out. So, their GM is not sold on Ben. He's never been good with film study. He doesn't commit in the offseason. He's also difficult with stars that get attention. And since he doesn't come in the offseason, he struggles in December. 1-4 and 8 picks in December. Even with that good second half against the Colts, he still had 8 picks. And it happened. It's what happens with Roethlisberger. He's gonna have it. If people thought Breeze was off this year, now Breeze is committed in the offseason. And even this year, when he was 40, he didn't have the same arm he used to have, not the same accuracy, not the same efficiency that he normally plays with. So if a guy like Breeze, who was always committed, if he wasn't able to produce at the age of 40, Big Ben's not going to be, and he's going to turn 39 next year, I think. It's not going to be good. And the Steelers are they've sold their soul to Ben. Got rid of AB, they got rid of Le'Veon Bell. They got rid of the people that Big Ben didn't like having the spotlight on them. And Bell had this contract issue, and I think Ben was kind of he definitely played a role in AB getting out, Steelers getting rid of AB. So the Steelers have sold their soul to Ben. They romanticize the past. The Packers are my favorite team, but they do drive me crazy at times. But they don't romanticize the past. They moved off of Favre, and they already drafted Aaron Rodgers' replacement. So the Steelers have to stop romanticizing the past and move off of Big Ben, before they move off of Big Ben, they better get a better replacement than Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins. So, they have to move off of them. So, there is news that is not so good for my Packers. And here's what I don't like about them. So the Bills and J.J. Watt are showing mutual interest. And he was still top 7. J.J. Watt is definitely regressing. He's not the same J.J. Watt that was 5 years ago, obviously, but he's aging. And but he was still top 7 in Pro Football Focus last year. So he is still impactful. And this is a bidding war. Unfortunately, the Packers don't like being in bidding wars. And that's bad news there. But what I like is that they did restructure Bakhtiari's contract. And actually later, I'm going to play a game called Keep, Cut, or Restructure. Just with the Packers. And what they should do with all their guys. So actually, let's get some music going here. Let's go. And really, the Packers should be more aggressive, and this is part of, the Packers losing every year in the NFC Championship is because they're talented enough to get there. They have the talent. The problem is they gotta overhaul. They gotta be aggressive during the offseason. And they have to start by signing J.J. Watt. Alright.